this afternoon for the Routt Rockets. It is their homecoming game, and they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the first team to make the playoffs. And Jerry Simons is alongside with a host of guests this afternoon. Here's Jerry.
Yeah, whenever we do a football game, it's always a host of something. And today, in addition to being everything else, homecoming, maybe a shot at the 300th victory and everything else, this is the 10th reunion of the first team ever to go to the playoffs for the Routt Rockets, and we have about half of the offensive unit up here. Jim Bernardini was the quarterback of the crew. What's it feel like here in '84 to look out on the field where you played a lot in high school?
Much different. They've changed uniforms since I've seen them play last, and looking forward to see a good game today.
You remember, you look back '74, and I'm sure there's a lot of memories. Is there any one game, one play, one situation, any one thing that you tell people about when you think back when you were a senior in high school playing football for Routt?
I can't think of any, probably one individual game or play. Probably just the spirit of the Routt tradition in football that I had all 4 years, really enjoyed, and trying to explain that to people.
Let me ask you, if you could go back to '74 and replay one game, would you replay the Triopia game or the Villa Grove game?
Probably personally, I'd rather play the Triopia game and see if we couldn't get one more touchdown on them.
That's sort of a typical Routt fan saying that you'd rather play Triopia again. Everybody, one other question for you, Jim. Everybody says that you should never have been at Routt High School. I talk to people up in Virginia, and they say, Routt stole you away. Now let's get the true story. What about that?
No, I already had a brother and sister in school, so it was well established that I was going to be good at Routt.
Welcome back. We're glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
Next to him, Dan Rourke, you've grown a little bit.
Yes, I have. I've put on probably 30 pounds since I graduated from high school.
I gave you a hard time earlier, though. You kept all your hair. You're not like me.
No, I've still got my hair. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I've got all my hair.
What are you doing now?
I'm coaching football down in Texas.
In Texas, where?
Plano, Texas, right outside of Dallas.
The varsity, junior varsity, what level?
I'm a scout for the varsity, and I work with the sophomore level.
How's the team doing?
Right now, we're doing fairly well. We're 6-3 with the sophomores, and varsity 6-1-1. So we're doing all right.
Are the sophomores playing today?
No, they're not. We played Thursday night. I missed my plane. The game lasted a little longer than I thought it would.
If you played now, you'd play tackle instead of a wide receiver.
Well, I don't know.
Jim, where are you now, Jim Bernardine?
I'm in Quincy, Illinois.
What are you doing over there?
I work for Adams FS, controller for them over there.
Sort of runs in the family.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on down. Chris Shorting, you and I visited earlier in the week. I thank you for helping me earlier this morning remembering this team. What's it like seeing all these guys again?
Kind of strange. It's been a while.
You haven't changed too much.
Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
I talked to you on the radio this morning. Let me ask you the same question we asked Jim. And, of course, for you, we can mention you're still here in Jacksonville. You work for A. Gaudio & Sons. And if you went back and this morning on the air, you recall for us the Triopia game and you lost 12-6. You recall the Villa Grove game. I don't know why we picked out the only really 2 losses, but if you could play either one of those again, what would you do?
I think I'd like to play the Triopia game again also. They're such a great rivalry with Routt, and we just wanted another shot at them.
Do you think at all in the playoffs that this team of '74, when you played Villa Grove, was looking all ahead of the possibility of another Triopia game?
I don't think so. I think it was such a new and exciting thing being the first year that people were just all caught up in the moment. No, I don't really think we were looking ahead.
Chris, we'll move on down. Thank you. Guy's been on the radio twice today. I'm going to have to put him on the payroll. Pat Tobin, I told you, you've changed.
Yeah, a little bit, I guess. I kind of look like you, I guess.
He just took off his ball cap, and he hadn't got much more hair than I do. What happened?
I really don't know. I guess it was all those keep my head down, like the coach said.
What do you think about when you think back to '74? And surely, as you've got ready for this week and the reunion and all, you thought back to 10 years ago. Do you have any memories really that jump out?
Oh, only 2, and that's the Triopia game and Villa Grove game that really stick out in my memory. You know, because those were our 2 only losses. And yeah, I like to have both of them back just one time.
Villa Grove, we got a bad call.
Well, you know, it's a game of judgment calls, and you can't really go with what the refs say or not. You can give them bad calls, or you can say what you want, but we still lost the game.
Excited about today's game?
Oh, yeah, real excited about today's game. I've helped out Routt all year here, scouting a little bit for him, and real excited about it.
All right, thank you, Pat. Mike Smith's the next guy. And, Mike, I think maybe you've put on a pound or two.
Yeah, just a few. Yeah, a lot of it's shifted, too. Gravitation.
You were at the opposite end of the line of Chris Shorting back in 74.
Yes.
What do you think about it? If you think about it, we've talked about the losses. We ought to go back and talk about the wins. What was the biggest win of 74 for the Routt team?
Well, I think the Carrollton game was a big win, being the first game of the season and everything. And Carrollton is a pretty good rivalry with Routt, and they always have a tough football team.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about is this group was really the group that was associated at Routt High School with Larry Picotti, and then the first year Dan Bowman. You got to have a lot of fond memories of those two people.
Right. We looked up very much to both those men.
I noticed in the program today there's a dedication in there to Larry Picotti, and Dan Bowman is here today. Have you had a chance to visit with him?
Yes, I have. I see Dan every once in a while when I'm back in town. I like to look him up.
What do you do now, Mike?
I'm an accountant for ADM in Decatur.
We got one in Decatur, one in Texas, one in Quincy. We got Chris in Jacksonville, and Pat is still in Jacksonville. All right, thank you, Mike Smith. Now the most dignified looking of the bunch. The rest of us are here just for a football game. And who is this?
Jerry, this is Alan Lando.
You look all spiffed up, ready to go.
No, it's big time in the old town tonight. You know how it goes.
Where are you now?
Alan's in Phoenix, Arizona now, doing architecture.
Architecture. Do these guys know that you were into that when you were in high school?
That's why I'm back here. One of these days, when I'm going to make a bundle, and they're going to have to build a house or two.
Is that a good... how'd you get into that?
Just hustle work and hustle a little more.
Did you know in high school that you wanted to go into that?
Absolutely not. I went to University of Notre Dame and didn't want to do science and didn't want to do engineering, and architecture sent me to Rome for 1 year.
To Rome?
That's right.
What'd you do over there?
Well, we went to school there for a year.
You mentioned Notre Dame. Now, we've got a guy from Zeigler Royalton's going to go to Notre Dame. You're from Routt. Where are your loyalties today? Do you hope Sean Connor has a good day, or do you hope Routt puts him on his backside all day?
They're both good sports institutions, and I like to see good individuals go to both of them all the time.
You ever think you ought to go into politics with an answer like that?
Every day's politics, and don't let anybody tell you any different.
We save the best to last, I guess. Alan Landolt, Mike Smith, Pat Tobin, Chris Shorting, Dan Rourke, Jim Bernardini, welcome back, and thank you not only for being with us today, but all the fun we had in broadcasting your games in 74. 6 guys from the 74 team are our guests on the pregame interview. Stay tuned for the 84 game, Routt and Zeigler Royalton. For the Routt Rockets, at center, number 53, 185-pound junior Matt Goldisich. At right guard, number 60, 187-pound junior John Lockman. Right tackle, number 75, 195-pound senior Tom Lonergan. At the other end, number 80, 165-pound senior Steve Meganson. Quarterback, number 10, 150-pound senior Brian Sheehan. The fullback, number 34, 185-pound senior homecoming king John Murray. Slot back, number 44, 145-pound senior Pat Kaufman. Tailback, number 32, 155-pound senior Will Whalen. Rockets are coached by Mike Brooks, Mike Magner, Joe Brooks. And we'll have the play-by-play in just 1 minute.
Two big games on this field in 2 consecutive days. Jacksonville lost a hard-fought 15-3 decision to Griffin last night. And here's the kickoff for Routt and Zeigler Royalton.
And it's going to be taken and stepping out of bounds when he took the ball at the 6-yard line for Zeigler was Ron Grizel. He made a mistake right off the bat. They come out with a flanker to the left side. Shea is a wingback on the right side out of an I formation. They split into the left side's Grizel. Fumble on the ball, and Connor goes back on it. We get a flag in the first play, and it's motion against Zeigler Royalton. Routt will likely decline the penalty. And again, had trouble hanging onto the ball, did Connor. Finally handed off, play to the left side of the line, gets virtually nothing. Let's see what Connor does on the 3rd and 13 with a split into the left side. He's going to hand off to Leffler. Leffler hits it into the middle, and that's a tough place to try to go against Routt. There's very little, if any, gain. Connor is about 8 yards deep, takes a low snap, gets rid of the kick. End over end, a pretty good one. It hits at the 30, comes up to the 35. Coffin's going to let it bounce across the 40 and up to the 41-yard line, where it'll be down.
Not a bad kick into the wind. It never got up very high and went end over end and got a good roll out of it, but into the wind, a 37-yard punt.
And Sheehan has him set. He's got a slot back on both sides. Now coming in motion to the left side is Coffin. We're going to get a penalty as Eddie Nelson, the split in to the left side, jumped before the ball was snapped, and it's offsides against
Zeigler.
Ooh.
Zeigler came into the encroachment area.
And they leave Murray the lone setback. Kaufman in motion to the right side. Give the ball to Murray. Murray tries the right side, and Zeigler stops at goal. Again, split to the left side, Nelson. Tight end on the right side. Out of an eye goes Routt with Kaufman the slot back and motion to the left side. Give it to the tailback. Whalen through the left side of the line, and he's inside the 35. Breaks away at the 32, and he's down to the 27-yard line. Will Whalen. The Rockets now bring Cease into the game. Rob Cease split into the left side. Slot back right side, Kaufman. I formation for Sheehan. Sheehan fakes the ball to Whalen, goes back to pass, puts it in the air, and it's on target and caught by Meganson inside the 15-yard line. Steve Meganson is down at the 14-yard line before the tackle is made. Out of the wishbone tee, give it to Kaufman. Kaufman trying to come to the left side, giving a lot of ground. They've got him caught. He fumbles. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Rout's ball, and it'll be back around the 20-yard line. Out of 2nd and 16 out of the wishbone. Kaufman up in the slot now, right side. Cease split on the left side. Give the ball to Whalen. Comes through the right side. Wants to go outside. He's caught from behind and brought down after a short gain. And Sheehan gives the ball to Kaufman. Coming out of the slot into the line. Is that Kaufman or Murray? Not much of a gain. It is Kaufman. And he's shaken up a little bit. It will be an attempt of 31 yards by Pat Kaufman. Ball is down. The kick is up. And it is no good. It's better field position for them. They come out with a split in left. And Connor hands off to the wingback. And in the backfield, Ray is having trouble. And he's going to be dropped for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. Jerry Ray. And they hand off to Ray into the right side of the line. Ray's going to get about 3 or 4 yards. He'll punch it out near the 14-yard line. One of the tacklers for Routt is Tom Lonergan. Another man there, Jeff Doolin. Out of an I formation, split in left side, and Connor wants to throw for the first time, and he fires it out long, too long, over the head of Nelson, who was up there defensively at midfield. The intended receiver was Ron Grizel. Connor standing on his 3-yard line, takes the snap, needs to hurry. It is blocked. It'll go into the end zone. Touchdown, Steve Meganson.
How about that? He's the one that blocked it, too.
He is. Steve Meganson came in, blocked the kick. It bounced up in his hands, and he's got a TD. Steve Meganson for the Routt Rockets. There we go. Snap, falls down, kick up, and it is good. We'll break for 30 seconds with 5:57 remaining in the first quarter. Routt 7, Zeigler Royalton, nothing. This kickoff taken by Jerry Ray at the 5. He's back out to the 10. A flag in the play across the 20. He's up to the 25, running to his left and brought down around the 25. And we have a clipping penalty going to be called against Zeigler Royalton back around the 15-yard line. Give the ball to the tailback, Leffler, and Leffler tries to hit the left side of the line, gets a yard or two out to the 21 or 22-yard line. Connor gives to Leffler again. Into the right side of the line he comes, and not much, if anything. You said earlier on that they would find out it's very tough to try to move the ball on the ground against Routt. Ray, the wing back on the left side, again out of an eye. Will Connor go to the air? And he's going to roll to the left side, and he'll keep the ball. Turns it upfield, and is brought down up near the 18-yard line. Kick, gets this one off, end over end. It'll hit at the 30 and bounce back against Zeigler. And then there's a big pileup. Rout's going to have the ball around the 35-yard line. Sheehan hands off to Murray. Murray tries it across the right side of the line for a short gain of a yard or two. Out of wishbone tee, Sheehan on a 2nd down and 8 with the wind at his back is going to option it to the right side, keep the ball, dance outside. He is inside the 30-yard line. He'll be run out of bounds near the 25-yard line.
May be the most versatile offensive Routt team we've seen in a number of years. They have 3 offensive players in the backfield that can do it, and a good passing attack as well.
Got a 1st down in the 25. Sheehan drops way back, sets up, fires, and it may be intercepted, and it is by Grizel at the 6-yard line. Grizel back to the 10. Grizel is brought down as he gets up around the 11. Out of an eye, they give the ball this time to Vaughn, and Vaughn punches it out for about 4 yards. Get out of the eye. Give it to Leffler, the tailback. Right side, not much. About a yard, and Routt has 3 tacklers right there. Cease is one of those. Another one is John Murray, and the 3rd one, Craig Clancy. 3rd and 5 in the 16, and they give it to the wing back. Ray comes to the right side, and he is brought down hard at the 20. First man to get him was Sheehan, and then helped out by Clancy. Snaps a good one. And Connor gets it out of there. The wind holds it up a bit, hits at the 45, and Kaufman's going to grab it at the 47. He fumbles, and Zeigler has the ball. That's the end of the first quarter, and the score is Routt 7, Zeigler Royalton